trying something really ambitious over here, y'all. We trying something ambitious over here, and I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous. I is. But we got to try new things every now and then. You know what I'm saying? So, what I'm doing today. Get me a little something to put the extra hair in. I'm taking my hair down, right, y'all? Which I should have done several days ago, but like, whatever. It is what it is. I just been enjoying my weekend. Have you been enjoying your weekend? I've been enjoying my weekend. Yesterday I went to a little pool party. Let me tell you the story. Let me tell you, because Robert seems to always be crashing somebody's party, right? I was yesterday I was planning on going to let me turn this down just a little bit because it's my voice and it's distracting, right? So both Saturday and Sunday, I was planning on going to the beach. I'm a beach bum, summertime. I like to go to the beach, and I try my best to go to the beach. My goal is to go one day a week all throughout the summer, you know. So that's the goal. And I generally make my goal plus some. But yesterday, both days, Saturday and Sunday, I woke up late because Friday night I went to a little card party. We was having a really good time, and I was there till like 3 something. I usually am not that late. I usually leave around 12:30, but we were having a really good time, and we were winning a lot. I think we won like 6, 7 games, and we might have dropped one. Did we drop 1 or 2? I think we only dropped 1 game, so we only lost 1 game. So of course, while you winning, you sticking around, hanging out, and enjoying yourself. So I woke up mad late on Saturday, so I didn't end up going to the beach. Because if I'm not out of the house by noon to go to the beach, then I don't really want to go. And I would prefer to get out around 9:30, 10 o'clock. So the same thing pretty much happened on Sunday. I woke up late because I had slept in the middle of the day on Saturday, and I was up late on Saturday night, so I didn't get up, you know, at a reasonable time. It was probably 11 something when I woke up on Sunday. So I got up on Sunday. Let me see something real quick. Around 11 o'clock. So I said, okay, I'm not going to the beach. So I was chatting to somebody on my Facebook in Messenger, and they were like, oh, are you going to so-and-so's party? But I think that was Saturday. They had asked me if I was going to a pool party. And I was like, no, I'm going to the beach. So I thought about that naturally when I, wasn't going to the beach. I said, oh, well, there's the pool party going on. And I know the guy who's hosting it, but I didn't know the people, the person who owned the house or the people own the house. So another friend ended up saying, because I asked a few people, I said, oh, are you going to so-and-so's party? And they were like, yeah, blah, 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 da, da, da. So one person ended up sending me, because he was like, I don't think it's at his house. I think it's at somebody else's house. And I was like, yeah, I heard that. But I didn't get the email. I didn't get the information. So he sent me the information. But I'm an adult. So I was like, okay, at least I know where it is and all that good stuff. But I need to get me an invite. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to show up at the house and go all the way out there. It was way out in Brooklyn somewhere, about an hour and something from my house. I'm not going to go out there and then get to the door and they be like, this is invite only. You can't come. Usually that wouldn't happen. But I'm not, I'm an adult. I'm grown. I'm not going to even risk it. So I contacted the host, and I was like, oh, where's the party today? I heard you having a party or whatever. And he's like, well, who told you that I was having a party? And I was like, I was just chatting with some friends and they were talking about it, I was wondering if I was going. And he was like, who? Who are you chatting with? So I know he's trying to get me to rat somebody out. And I don't know why, but whatever. Okay, I don't care. I was just chatting with some friends and they were talking about it, I was wondering if I was going. He was like, okay, it sounds good. It looks good. Do I need some light? Somebody out. Do I need some light? Anybody? I don't think I need any light. Well, whatever. Okay, I don't care. Yeah. He was like, okay, well, you can come, blah blah blah, this and the other, but just make sure you bring something add to the party. And I'm like, who you talking to? Like, I was raised right. Of course I'm bringing something if I'm coming to somebody's house to a party. I ain't never come to your house with nothing. Never, ever, ever, ever would I go to somebody's house with nothing for a party. You know. So I got myself together and went on out. Where's my phone is. I'm live streaming, okay? I'm live streaming on two places. I'm in TikTok and I am YouTube. And I'm wondering if my setup is going to support all of this, or if it's going to be slow, if it's going to break down. So far, it looks really good. I just checked my YouTube and it looked really good. I'll probably check my TikTok in a few minutes. But let me get this hair started because I want to take this down. I have a few ideas for other things that I want to do, even though I'm going to have to wait until I actually put it back up to decide exactly what I'm going to do. I think tonight I'm just going to leave it down. Maybe put it into some quick braids or something like that to sleep on, but let it breathe a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just let it breathe a little bit. Yeah, so I got myself together, and it was a pool party. The party was a pool party. So I went and crashed a little pool party. And a friend of mine who I was chatting with was like, "Oh, you gotta wear them red briefs that you have." And I'm like, "Oh my God, like really should I?" And he's like, "Well, a friend of ours, blah blah blah, is gonna wear blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, well, yeah, it's not a competition, but let's go. Hey, let's go." So I have these things that I can usually carry with me when I go to the beach. I call them my little red panties. I got them in Fort Lauderdale. And I had met some guys at a bar or whatever, and they were a couple, and they invited me to go to a pool party. This is years ago. And so I was like, I need something. I had a few cute little pieces, but I was like, this is about 15 years ago, I suppose. But I was like, I need me another, little piece or whatever to make it look good. I want to be real cute and all that. So I went to a little gay store and I looked around and I bought, these little red panties is what I call them. And I wore those to the party. Baby, let me tell you, those little red panties were the hit of the freaking party. So, but then that was about 15 years ago, And the body is still cute, but like I ain't 30 or 40 no more. But whatever, I don't care. It looked good. I made a lot of friends that day. And I wore them, so I decided to wear them yesterday. But I always keep them in my bag because, if it gets evening and it's raucous and people are carrying on and partying or something, then I might come up out of my little shorts or whatever and put on my little red panties to run around and did. If you look around on the net, you might find a photo of me in the little red panties. But... But I wore those, and the guy who DJ'd ended up wearing little black panties, whatever, and he's a friend of ours. And so when he took his stuff off, my friend was like, "Oh, Robert probably got his little red panties on. He probably got a little red. Then you gonna take them off or whatever." I was like, "I gotta have a few more drinks before I come out of my clothes, which eventually I did. And several of us. I think maybe 5 people got in the pool. If there were about 20 to 25 people at the thing, maybe not even that many at the party. Maybe not even that many. But let's say there were under 20 people at this party. And so, they kept it really small because the host of this party, it wasn't his house, but when he hosts a party at his house, he usually has, 4-5 dozen or more people there. So I think he was just trying to keep the party small because it was somebody else's home. Wasn't inviting too many people. But I'm like, I need an invite. Like, let me get an invite. I called it crashing the party because he's I told another friend, I said, "Oh, he's kind-hearted. He'll invite you. Like, just hit him up." And he did. And he did show up later after he went wherever else he was going. So it was all a good time. So I had a little pool party. I think it might be my first New York pool party. Actually, and I've been here 30 something years. Because I don't know a lot of people who own houses in New York. You know, most people live in apartment buildings, or if they, or they're outside of the city. Um, there are places in every borough that have housing or houses, but I don't know a whole lot of people who have a house. Or at least, let's say I'm not close with a lot of people who have a house. Okay, I met this guy who hosted the party through another friend, and literally, like, he was like, "Oh, are you going to so and so party?" I said, "I don't know if I know him." He was like, "You should come. We're gonna be playing cards and stuff like that." And it's all a little card community. And so, me being a Virgo and being always early, I got to the guy's house, and he was about to get in the shower, and like, the party was supposed to start an hour earlier than that. So, of course, we got to know each other. We were talking and stuff like that. And then he was like, "Oh, watch the door for me, answer the phone, blah, 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 another." And I was like, "Oh, you need me to help you do blah, blah, blah." I'm willing. I'm usually early, so I'm always willing to help out, help you get anything together or whatever like that, organize anything like that. He wanted me to run the games because he had like Jenga. Of course, we were going to play cards. He had Cards for Humanity. So we had a bunch of games. So he wanted me to run the games and stuff like that. So we became really cool. And as people arrived, of course, I think only one person arrived while he was in the shower. And then he got himself together. Other people started arriving. Most people arrived so late. I swear, let's say if this party was supposed to start at 5, most people didn't start arriving till 8 o'clock. And that's not me. Even this little pool party, it started at 3. So I had planned to leave out of the house about 3 because it takes about an hour or so to get down to, the place where it was being, where the house is, where the guy's house is. I got down there and I ran into another friend who was invited as we were coming up out of the subway, and we walked over together because he didn't know where it was. I'd never been there. He had been there before and didn't remember where it was. And I needed to stop and get some, like, I had already got some alcohol, but he said bring whatever you want to drink and a dish to share. So I wasn't cooking nothing because it's too hot. I wasn't cooking nothing, but I had wanted to get like my idea, because I like to get those little, the chips and stuff, but they're like single chips. And so everybody can have their own little bag, and it's less wasteful, when you have other people putting their hands all up in your stuff. Plus, if people don't eat them, then you can save them for another time or whatever. Use them for a different party, or, eat them snacks when you have snacks, like this. Like this. And they usually have boxes of them with maybe 10 in there, 20. So I was going to get that, but I didn't see a place where we could get it at first. So I got some watermelon. Cause black folks at the party, so we know they're gonna like some watermelon. But I got 2 different kinds of watermelon. I got the red watermelon and I got this yellow watermelon that I had never tried before. And I wanted to try it. So I was like, hey, this is the perfect time to try it, So I don't have to eat it all. If I don't like it, I don't have to, eat it all or whatever. It was really good. And it turns out a lot of other people that hadn't tried it before either. So, we kind of passed it around. It was like, "Oh, what do you think of it? What do you think of it? Blah, blah, blah." And most people liked it. We had such a good time. We played Jenga. Some people jumped in the pool. I put my feet in the pool. I didn't really feel like getting all the way in because of my hair, for one. And it's been a long time since I've seen some chlorine. So I'm going to have to come home and take my hair down right away and wash out the chlorine. So I just put my feet in. We sat on the side and had cocktails or whatever, which was very enjoyable. We played the Jenga. We played some game. They had to do your black card, revoke my black card or something like that. And they played, I didn't play the other one, but the one where you have the name on something, and then the person with the name, you give them, it's kind of like Pictionary, but it's the electronic kind. So they played that for a while. We were chilling out and having cocktails and talking by the side of the pool. Then we went and played some spades and some bit whist. So that's how the night ended. For card players, baby, we be waiting for the cards. We be waiting to play the cards. So we enjoying ourselves, having some cocktails, relaxing by the pool. It was a lot cooler there because there was he had like two big houses surrounding him. So it was really cool in the back. And yeah, so it was a good little party. Oh my God, the party, the party. And I say I crashed, but I did get my invitation because I wasn't going all on that. I wasn't going all the way down there and maybe be somebody who like really didn't want any extra people coming. But I guess the host didn't want to have too many people showing up. You know what I'm saying? He said, because it's not my house, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. But the host really seemed like he wanted more people. Because him and his husband was not there. He's across the country somewhere. And so, he was at home alone or whatever for the weekend. And he was a very, very nice guy. Very sweet. We had some good conversations. And we played bit whist. I played against him. I think we won like one less game than they did. Bit whist can be a really fast game because if you get a no and you make it a lot of times, if you like even board, which means you just started the game or whatever, then the game is over if you win because you get double points. So we played bit whist. First I played spades and lost. And then we played bit whist, but it was only four of us who were playing because everybody else was playing spades. So we played, a bunch of games. I think they won like 6 and we won like 5. And my last hand was amazing! Amazing! I'm so glad when like your last hand is like your best hand. Cause like he bid a 6 or something like that. I bid a 6. No! And I made it! And that made my night. I was done. I was like, okay, it's time to go. And he had to work this morning anyway, so y'all know I ain't got to get up early in the morning because I'm a singer. I'm a singer, songwriter, actor, so we don't usually have to get up too early unless we go into an audition or maybe if you have a recording session or something like that. So we ain't got to do too much. I could have stayed out all night if I wanted to. But I came home, and I think I got home about 12:30, and I crashed. I ain't checked my social media or nothing. I laid on that bed and I was knocked out till like 9:10 today. That's probably due to the cocktails and the food. And the sun, sitting out in the sun. But there's so many things that you can do in New York City. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you know a few people. I could have went somewhere else, but you know what? I think everything pretty much happens in its time and for its own reason. So that's why I was like, okay, I know about this pool party. Let me see if I can get me an invite. Not knowing if I'm gonna know anybody there or anything except for the host. But I knew a lot of people. I knew the DJ, a good friend of mine was there who also hosts parties. The friend I ran into on the way, he comes out to the beach sometimes with me. We play cards together. And like maybe 3 or 4 other people I knew before I got there. So like half of the people there I knew, which was nice and cute and whatnot, you know. So you had a few familiars. And just a very, very good time. I took a little video. I didn't take, I'm a social media person, but I don't know if I'm a social media person that much because I'm not always videotaping stuff. Usually I go somewhere, I go to a party or something like that. I'm old school. Like I don't have my phone out the whole time. I'm not even checking my social media or Grindr or all that good stuff while I'm at a party. I'm enjoying the surroundings, relaxing, talking to people. You know, when you meet new people, asking them stuff. Like I was talking about the host's house because it was so beautiful. It was so nice. I was asking them questions, um, about when they had got it and blah blah blah, how long they've been there and all that good stuff. And it was just laid out so beautifully. I didn't get to see the upstairs, but I did. I didn't see the basement, but the first floor, the ground level floor, and the backyard, it was just so nice and so little tchotchkes and stuff all over the place and little stuff on the walls and stuff. You look around my place, there's very very little stuff on the walls because I just don't be doing it. I'm just not that. I don't know what it is, but so I was very impressed, and we had conversations about that and about just living places for long periods of time. Because I think when I was younger, as a performer, somebody who moved around quite a bit, even when I was young, I never thought that I would stay somewhere, like stay stable in some place for 10, 15, 20 years. And he had been in his place over 30 years. I've been here for 22 years. And it shocks me. It really does, because I had never thought that I would be somewhere that long. Which means obviously that I found home. I found my home. And I love it. I am so comfortable. I'm so happy where I am. I love my little spot, my little space. Nobody bothers me. And I can just chill. Thank you so much for the like. I appreciate it. And I can just chill and do my thing. Today, what's today? Monday? What time is it? Oh, it's 8 o'clock. Are y'all having dinner or what's going on? Y'all didn't come up in here yet. Come on up in here and say hello. I'm going to take this hair down and wash it. And then find something to do with it that doesn't stress it out too much until I decide what I'm gonna do. I'm thinking I'm gonna do like a combo of cornrows and twists. So like you do a cornrow, so far, and then you twist it at the end. I think I'm gonna do something like that. So don't take me at a word, because I might start doing something and it don't look good and then I end up doing something else. I could just do cornrows all the way back, but I don't know if I'm feeling that. I've been liking to have my hair like swinging and stuff like. Like to have a little everything, but a little bit of swing up in there, especially with it being so long. I don't want it to be sitting here on top of my head. I want it to be swinging around, giving very much white girl. What I say when I was doing a get ready with, well, it wasn't really get ready with me, but just show my little outfit when I was going out, because I was cute. I felt real cute. And I haven't posted it on social media yet, but I was like giving Fifth Avenue fish. I don't know if that's ever come out of my mouth before in my life, but I was just feeling it. Ow, Fifth Avenue fish, honey. Yes, God. The joy. The joy. Make sure I get each one of these friggin' twists out, because if you don't and you go to comb this stuff, baby, I'm already tender-headed. So I don't want to pull my little bit of brains I have left out. You know what I'm saying? Just a tiny bit of brain left. Woo! Should I invite some people? It says invite so and so and so and so and so. Let's see. Let me look at the green lights. I'm gonna invite the green lights. See if y'all want to stop through for a minute and say hello. Now this is just on the TikTok. I'm gonna say stop through. I just posted a video on TikTok. Thank you so much. I just posted the video on TikTok. Did I post today on YouTube? I think I did. Y'all know, let me look. If I did, it was a short. So let's see. I've been trying to post every. No, I didn't. I posted 2 days ago on YouTube. I posted me singing outside at Bryant Park because I posted up video of me doing the door that I ended up doing a collaboration with this guy from Brazil, and he did all the music and stuff like that, and he actually edited the video. I sent him my stuff, and he edited the video. So I was like, because I'm doing this in a different key, why don't we post the karaoke? I'll make a karaoke and post the karaoke. And she's like, okay, that sounds good. I mean, whatever you want to do. So I did. Of course, the karaoke has more views than the freaking singing video, but oh, that's okay. I don't mind. I thought that it would be good for content, but it's like I do it in a lower key, so I took it down like a major third because it's a really high song, and I was asked to learn it for a gig. I'm a singer-songwriter, actor, author, poet. On my day job, I'm the wedding singer, so I do corporate events and weddings and bar mitzvahs and weddings and bat mitzvahs and weddings and corporate events and weddings and society parties and weddings. So the different bands that I sing with, right now I'm not with a regular set band like, I left about 2 years ago, the band that I was with, and I was only with them for like 2 years. But Robert be moving. Robert be like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to do something different. So, but I work with different bands, and so we were doing a gig at the beginning of the year in like March or April, late March, early April, and they wanted me to learn "The Door" by Teddy Swims, and so I started learning it. Of course, I had to put it in a different key because it's so high. And then they were like, oh, so and so knows it, like he knows it, so you don't have to worry about it. But I was already learning it, and I was already liking it too. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna end up doing it again some other time, so might as well finish learning. And we didn't even do it, even though, yeah. And that happens. Sometimes they ask you to learn 5 songs, and you end up doing one of them. And I figure, because I ain't got no choice, that that's just part of the job. You get paid for learning the songs, and then you get up and do your thing. I've had gigs where I've done 20 songs in a 4-hour gig, and I've had gigs where I've done 3 songs in a 4-hour gig. And I get paid the same amount no matter what. So, which would you rather do, the 3 or the 20? You know what I'm saying? I personally would rather do somewhere in between because, we're performers. We want to get up and we actually want to do, what we do. So you don't really want to stand around bopping and doing background for everybody else. You do want to be performing and singing and doing your thing. So 10, 12 songs over a 4-hour period, leading 10, 12 songs is probably ideal. But, it just depends on the circumstances and which part you are and blah, blah, blah. Sometimes you're just an extra voice that they needed and they're a set band. Sometimes you're in a throw together band and you're the only R&B vocalist. Sometimes you're the only vocalist, the only male vocalist. There's only been one time in my career as a wedding singer where I was the only vocalist. Like there's always a male and female vocalist. But this one time I'll never forget it was Hurricane Irene, and the agency that I worked for was telling people, if you don't feel like you can get to the gig, just let us know, no problem, blah, blah, and the other. So our female singer, and I was singing with a band that was kind of set, not really, but, we worked together all the time. She felt uncomfortable driving, in the hurricane, which is natural, normal. You can't fault somebody for that. So they put her on a gig that was closer to her home. So she still got to work and make her money. But on the gig that we had, we didn't have a female singer. So I was the only singer. And trust me, the people who did the wedding, they were so happy that we showed up that they didn't care what happened. Like, so most of the time, The band was playing and I was chilling out. Now and then we would do a dance set, and of course we would just do my songs, um, not going too far out of the box, just calling from my song list. And it was a beautiful night. Now getting home, because going on the way there, this is during Hurricane Irene, right? On the way there, the weather was okay. It would rain, now and then down a little bit, and then it would stop and rain, stop. On the way back, baby, ooh, I thought I was a goner. I really did. At times, I thought I was gone because people don't know how to drive in the rain. I do. I'm not talking about me, talking about people. I'm talking about other people. Uh, and so people was all over the roads and they were speeding and blah, 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 and the other. And I'm like, why don't you slow down? Like, what's the rush? Like, really, it's like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning and you speeding in a hurricane? Like, really, slow down. So I made it home, thank God, with no problem, and turned around and went to pick up my best friend because he was in a hotel down in close to Midtown because he couldn't get home due to the hurricane. And we went down to the village to go have some cocktails. Of course, the bars be open. They don't care. They open. If you're gonna be here, we'll be here. So, and it was surprising. Like there was a few dozen people at the bar. And I suppose most of them lived close by because the trains weren't running. So they must have lived in the area, or maybe they took an Uber or something down, you know, to have a cocktail. They had been cooped up all day due to the hurricane. But baby, I wouldn't get my money. When they were like, "Are you gonna be at the gig?" I was like, "Yeah, y'all paying?" Yeah, y'all paying? Of course I'm gonna be there. Like, I need that money. I gotta get my money. And did. And thought no more about it. But while I was driving that night, the streets of New York were like the quietest I have ever in my life seen them. I mean, I might have run into, let's say, half a dozen people driving that night. People were staying off the streets. And I guess because, it had been so bad during one period of the night that they just, people were just at home or whatever. They wasn't trying to go back out. By the time I made it home, it was terrible on the expressway and all that different stuff and on the cross the Bronx coming back. But by the time by the time I got home and found parking, it was all done. It was done. You could tell it was done. Um, so I turned around and went back out, and it was beautiful. It was a beautiful night. That little after rain, calm, dewy kind of, it was very nice. And I had made my coin plus some tips. Because let me tell you, the people who had the wedding and the reception were very, very happy. They were very, very happy to have a band there that night. Because a lot of people didn't want to come out. A lot of people, of course, and they were probably staying in a hotel, you know what I'm saying, for the night. Most of the guests were probably there. At least the wedding party were probably booked at a hotel for the night. Because they know they're gonna get drunk down. It's gonna be a long day, so they weren't trying to drive somewhere after that. It was an interesting evening. That night I don't think I sung 20 songs. I really don't. It was just me, and I don't think I did 20 songs. I did do some songs though. I probably have a recording of what I did. Cause I tried to record all my gigs just to see what happened. And sometimes I get stuff I can rehearse too. Sometimes I get stuff that I can post. Sometimes I know that we made a mistake somewhere, or I made a mistake somewhere, and I can figure out why it happened, and try to make sure it doesn't happen again. At least on my end, you can only fix what you do. You can't fix what happens. And when you're with a live band, part of the art of it is that things happen. Things go wrong. Sometimes somebody starts in the wrong key, or this happens often enough. The band starts in two different keys. So, you didn't the band leader told people, oh, we're gonna do this in F. Maybe the song is in G, but two people didn't hear it or one person didn't hear it. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? What's up, my brother? Thanks for the likes. And one or two people in the band did not hear the call, so they start playing in the wrong key, and everybody's like, what the heck is going on? Get together. Y'all ain't together. What's going on? I think that most often happens with songs that we're doing for the first time because we don't rehearse for these gigs. We don't rehearse. We might, like an hour before the gig, when we're doing setup and sound check, we might go through like the first dance, the important dances or stuff. Or if there's something that somebody really, especially the band leader, if he has really questions about stuff like that, he might want to run through the song. Like if there's a special arrangement or something, he wants to make sure that everybody is on the same page or whatever. We might run through it. But a lot of stuff we don't rehearse. So we just walk in, you know your part, and you do it. You sing. You make you up a little harmony. You do your lead and you do your thing. Thank you I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for the likes. So I am going live on 2 platforms. This is the first time I think I've done this. But I'm on YouTube and TikTok at the same time. My YouTube is Robert Anton NYC. My name, Robert Anton NYC. My TikTok is It's R Anton. It's the same as my cover channel here on YouTube. It's ITSRANTON. So if you want to check those out. I try to post, at least on my main channels, which are these 2 that I'm on live now. I try to post daily. Sometimes on TikTok I post a few times a day. I think today I posted twice. But I haven't posted on my main channel on YouTube today or yesterday. I think it's been 2 days. But that's because I've been pushing this darn. Thank you, Fran. I appreciate it. What's going on? That's because I've been pushing this darn collaboration that we did with this guy in Brazil. He heard me playing The Door on my little keyboard or whatever, and he liked my arrangement. Now, really, the arrangement was just because I was playing a little slower. I was playing a lot of parts a little slower because, I was learning it, just getting it in. But he enjoyed it and was like, oh, I do collaborations with people, so do you want to do that with a full band? I was like, sure. So we worked it out and we did it. And he did most of the work. I just sang this song. He worked a little bit from my arrangement, but actually it's pretty much straightforward. Pretty much the song. Not a lot of changes or anything like that. When I played it on piano, I did a lot of slowing parts down and blah, blah, blah. This is the main reason it gets me on the keyboard, because I don't play piano that well, even though I've taken it several times throughout my life, including college. But I can play well enough to write songs. I play well enough to accompany myself at home through a song now and then if it's not too difficult. Or I can, switch up the chords and stuff like that. To make it easier for me to get through the song. But I don't really play out in public. It's all just to learn the songs or to do a cover here on social media. Now and then I will hear a song and I'll be so crazy about it that I would jump on the piano and want to do my own arrangement of it immediately. So I had to figure out the chords and stuff like that. Luckily, by the time a song goes up, is released by the artist, it's usually a few people who've already figured out the chord work. Maybe they've seen a live performance or something like that. So you can find something on the net, at least to start with. It's not always right. It's not always perfect, but you can find somewhere to start, and then you can figure out the rest on your own. And I'll do that. I've done some arrangements of Lady Gaga, Justin Bieber, Florida Georgia Line, Of course, John Legend. Over the years, I've done arrangements on the piano of quite a few artists. Stevie Wonder. I'm kind of working on a Stevie Wonder song now. That one of my favorite Stevie Wonder songs. Um, but it's very difficult. Stevie's serious. He don't be playing. Like he have chords going crazy. But so I'm trying to simplify it as much as I can to do it. But I haven't played in a few days. Like I've been like running the streets this weekend. I really have been. The people who weren't here, I was at a pool party. I kind of crashed the pool party this yesterday because I was gonna go to the beach and I woke up late, so I didn't end up going. So I crashed the pool party. I did actually end up getting an invite, but I was planning on going. Oh, nah. Y'all see all this hair growing, showing. Lord, I got the joy in my hair. Yes, God. I think they're playing the movie Hair somewhere in New York tonight. I saw that there's like maybe an outdoor screening of Hair tonight. Cause I'm not going because the movie was okay, but I ended up doing the musical. I'll never forget it. Airport Playhouse in New York City, Long Island. And it's just so good. I have such great memories from it. I don't think I need to see the movie ever again. Such good times. It was a lot of young people in that production though, so we didn't do the nudity, even though we had discussions about it in the cast. Because cast members was like, are we gonna do the nudity? Are we gonna do that? And a lot of young folks like, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do it. And they're like, I don't think they're gonna have child porn on a Long Island stage. I really don't. I know it's artistic and all that, but we don't want to get sued. But it was still a very, very good production. I actually was brought in kind of late. I don't know what happened. I think maybe a friend of mine was supposed to do it or something, but he recommended me. So I went in. I went in. I go all the way up to Long Island, whatever, and I went in to sing. And I swear, when I started singing, because the cast was like maybe on the other side of a door, or maybe they were like, I don't know, they weren't far away. And when I started singing Color Spade, they were like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I know I had the job, baby. I was like, okay, so the cast loves me. Hopefully, the director loves me, and they did. They loved me. They loved me. And we had a good production. I don't think my hair was this long for the production though, but it was. It was an afro. Like it was pretty long. It wasn't this long. I just love performing, y'all. I love performing. Thank you so much for the likes. I appreciate it. It is my passion. I love singing so much, and I thank God I have gotten to do it as a living all over the world. It has been just wild. It's been wild and raucous. Not always perfect, but like follow your passion. You know what I'm saying? Because like you look back if you follow your passion, and even the hard times aren't hard. They're like, oh yeah, I had to go through this, I had to go through that, but then I got so and so and so. Or I was on my last $3, and then they called me to do blah 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 blah. Whatever. I very rarely had problems with money because I kept a credit card. So like I would run my credit card up when I wasn't working, while I was auditioning for shows and stuff like that, because I knew I was convinced, so I knew I was gonna book a gig eventually. It just depended when and where. So I would run my credit card up while I was, doing whatever, paying my bills or whatever I had to do. And then when I got a gig, then I would systematically pay it off. I would see how much I owed, and weekly I would take out just so much to make sure that I paid it off before the gig was over. So it was always paid off by the time I was done with my gig, and then boom, 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 I could start spending again until I got my next gig. And after a while, it came to the point, like, I remember I went from one gig to another gig, and then while I was on that gig, I got called for another gig. I had to leave that one to go to the next one. So I was really in the money then. I was like, okay, everything is, wow, everything's coming up roses. That was like my favorite time. My favorite time. And then when I went to Germany, I think I didn't work for probably 8 months after I went to Germany. But when we got our taxes back, I got like maybe $1,800 back in taxes. So, I had coin to go to keep me going. And at the time I was living with somebody. I was living with an amour, and we were both working. I was actually working a singing waiter job and auditioning and doing little shows here and there, some a cappella groups, some promo work. So it wasn't like I wasn't performing. I just wasn't doing like a major show. I wasn't traveling. And then I got Smokey Joe's Cafe, the European and Brazilian tour, and that set me up for a while because it was great. It was Broadway pay. And when we went to Brazil, we actually got even more money than they were paying on Broadway at the time. But that's because we also got per diem. So per diem is like they give you money to pay your expenses, whether it be hotel, but I think they pay for the hotels in Brazil. But for your food expenses and for if you need clothing and whatever you need while you're on tour. And we got a bump of like $200-300 in our per diem when we went to Brazil. I guess because it was more expensive than Europe or something like that. I don't know. I didn't care. Okay? It was just great money. I literally lived on my per diem. I was putting all of my, even in Germany, I was sending checks. This is crazy. I was sending my checks, buying a money order, and sending it to my account. Lord, the money I could have lost, but I didn't, thank God. But like during that and during Smokey Joe's, my whole check was going. Smokey Joe's, it was direct deposit to my account, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I was living on my per diem and literally wasn't even spending all of my per diem in Germany or in Brazil. I'm not like a big spender. I'll go out and have a cocktail, and I'm a light drinker, so I might buy a outfit or something for an opening or something like that. But I'm not a big shopper. I go get things that I need, and then sometimes I'll see something that I really want, and of course I'll get it. But like I'm not a big go out and shop person. I'm not a big spender. I'm not a big drinker. I don't know what it is. I get so much joy out of performing and just hanging with my buds, playing cards, that I don't end up spending a whole lot of money on things. I just don't. I'm not the kind of person that go like, oh, we're gonna do rounds, we're gonna do shots, and I'm not that person. I'm just not, I might do 1 or 2 shots now and then, but like you ain't gonna get Robert to be getting all toe down. At the pool party yesterday, I bought the guy at at my little, we've got a few wine shops around here. I go to basically 2 of them. So one, the guy we always tag because it's really small, and he really appreciates the business, but he's very busy anyway. But like when I go there, there's hardly anybody there. One person came in while I was there, and I was like, oh, should I get a bottle of wine? I'm going to a pool party, and he was telling me a few different things, like, oh, maybe try this, try that. And I was like, I try to buy something that'll go into a punch, because a friend of mine makes a really good punch whenever he gives a party. So I'm usually calling him like, what punch are you making, so I can bring whatever alcohol goes into the punch. But I didn't do that because I didn't know this the person who owned, I knew the house, the host, but I didn't know the person who owned the house, which were two different people, okay? So the guy was like, oh, you should do, if you want to punch, you should try that rum punch over there. It's on the other side of the Bacardi, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at it, you know, I never would have noticed it. But he was highly recommending it. He's like, oh, it's so good and it's not too expensive. You know, it's under $20. Than the other. I was like, okay, well, I'll try it. Because I like a rum punch. I like a rum punch. So I got that and I took it. And let me tell you, that rum punch was gone. I had probably 2 glasses of it. But then somebody else also brought a different rum punch. So I had some of theirs also. But like, that rum punch did not last 3 hours. It was good. It was really good. So yeah, I was very happy about that. So I'm done with the hair, and nobody really asked me no questions or nothing. I just gotta wash it and condition, treat my scalp, oil my scalp and stuff like that. It looks really good, really healthy, and it feels so soft. Not quite cotton candy, but it just feels really, really soft. Does it look nice and rich? I wonder if I can make a video with this hair. Am I gonna make a video with this hair? Woo! Let your soul glow. Hey, Kim, what's going on, Kim? How you doing? Good to see you. I hope you had a good weekend. We are live on both TikTok and YouTube for the first time. And I didn't get any notifications that my is slow. I got no notifications at all, so I guess it all worked out really well. And I'm happy, yay! So this means I can go live on 2 devices at one time. Well, it depends, because sometimes my service is kind of slow. Even when I'm just trying to, do something online, I'm like, why is it taking so long? Or it goes out for no reason. And I'm like, I'm switching services, even though I've had the same service for like 20-something years, without a contract. I'm like, I'm gonna get rid of this girl. I'm gonna get rid of this. And they make it so difficult. They be like, oh, why you gotta get rid of it? Oh my God. Oh, we're so sorry that you're not happy. What if we, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm checking here to see if we can find a different service that might serve you better. It's like, bitch, just. That's how I be feeling. I wouldn't say that to someone working in customer service, but that's how I feel. Like, just cut it off. Because what I really want to do is cut it off for like 30, 45 days, because they have all these friggin' specials for new people, and like where I'm paying like $60 a month, I saw a special for $39.99 for a year. If I could go away for 30 days and come back and pay $39.99 a year, oh my God, I'd be so great. You know, why you charging them $39.99? You charging me $60, and I've been here forever. Probably because they know they think I'm not gonna leave. That's why. But they wrong, because when this contract is up, well, it's not a contract, but you know, they gave me a discount for, I think for a year. Because they were talking about $100-something. I'm not paying no $100-something for no internet connection. You got to be crazy. So they gave me a rebate. Okay, so let me go wash my hair and get myself together. Thank you so much for hanging out. I think this was very, very successful. Maybe not enough people here, and no questions, which was what I was looking for. But I thought it was successful. You know, Robert would get on here and talk and talk and talk. So all by myself, just all by all by myself. Don't wanna be all by myself anymore. That's how I'm ending. I'm out. Peace. Now, how you cut this?